Good evening everybody, welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online, and we're back for yet another match in the World Series of Pool 9-ball tournament. It's a one-loss side match. It's going to be between Larry from the USA and, I'll get that right, MC Clarkey, or excuse me, McClarkey from England. Race to 15. It's a lag per break. There is alternate break and there are no jump cues, and that is the rules. Other than that, it's standard 9-ball rules, and it's the only match that is on tonight. That's it there on the bracket. We have another match that has been scheduled, I think, on the one-loss side. That is between Squirter and Mr. Strocum, and that is in a few days' time at 2 AM in the morning, and I certainly won't be there. I will be in Cloud Cuckoo Land when that's going on. I don't think anything has been I think the voice is going to go before I start. I don't think anything's been arranged, at least it wasn't earlier, on the winner's side. Oh, well, wait a minute. We've got the winner's side match between Cobra and Cheeky Chico, which, what's today's date? This is the 3rd. Well, that's in 5 days' time at 7 PM, so I'll be able to get that one. I'm looking at the top of the bracket. That's pretty much it. And that is a round 4 match between Cobra and Cheeky Chico, so that one's set. And looking further down, I think we're okay. There's nothing else there, so this is the one we're waiting on tonight. Both players are in. Both players have been getting some practice in. And we are probably about, what, 2 minutes away. In fact, I know what I'll do right now. I'll just go in and set the cloth colour. Put it to 9-ball. I think that'll allow me to... Oh no, we're in the wrong bloody room. Hang on a minute. That was a great start. Good evening. I'm trying to set this table. The game will be started by the time I get going. Hang on a minute. Just set the colour. Right. That should be us. Oh no, we are at blue. Oh, but no, I didn't realise that. Oh, so we're all set anyway, so we're good to go. So Serganesh is calling it 15-11 to Larry. Well, it can be very close, and I think this could be difficult to call. Matt's a solid player. He needs to be on the ball from the start though, to put some pressure on Larry. Likewise for Larry. Larry's he can't be playing loose, and it's the unforced errors that are going to cost, obviously, in this format. With the alternate break system, it's so important to make the most of your break if you can, and pounce on any errors to capitalise and just get that gap. Once you've got that 2-rack gap, that's a little cushion that you have to protect for the whole of the match, and anything above that is a bonus. Likewise, when you end up going 2 behind, the pressure's then on for you to deliver when you do get a chance. So the room's up, we're all set to go. I'm in first, and we're waiting on both players arriving. Of course, both the players get the audible alert to let them know the room is up, and they should be in any second. One lost side, race to 15. I hope the audio is okay. Again, I've got my mic a bit further away from my mouth so we don't get any blowing noises onto it, if we can help it. Larry's in. So here we go for the lag, and that might be Larry on the top. I'm just totally guessing because again I can't remember the cues. Well, the one on the top's too heavy, and it was Larry in the bottom. So off we go. First break to Larry. Good evening to Hair Pig. Good evening to Bedhead. And as is the tradition in this tournament, with the new update for the rack, we're still getting an awful lot of dry breaks. And straight away, Matt's got a chance. Major problem immediately is a 2-ball, so well, he's in a good position here if that cue ball slows up, because he can push through and just put Larry on the 5-ball. I can never remember that. I can never remember. It's always the top player in the HUD on the right and the other is left, but not when you're looking at it side on. What does that mean? So if I'm normally side on that way to look at the lag, so that means that the top player in the HUD is on the top of the screen. Is that what you're saying? Top of the screen from the side on. I'll never remember that. So top player is Larry, but the thing is, the top player lagged too heavy and Larry was in the bottom, so that can't be right. Larry's at the top of the HUD and Larry won the lag and he was at the bottom of the screen, so bang goes that theory for me remembering that one. Anyway, we'll worry about that another time. Now I'm totally confused. Now Larry can run for cover here. He needs to get distance. He can't feather this and just go 2 feet. He's got to get this push right onto the 7. Again, he's see that doesn't create any issues for his opponent. Larry should have been getting that down by the 6-ball, and you know, that does nothing. And Matt can do that. He can hit it with a bit of pace and get this cue ball down by the 9 and 6. But again, I don't understand the theory with these guys. If that was me playing that shot, the cue ball would be down behind the 9 and 6 every day of the week. Well, there's a proper blunder and a boo-boo there by Larry. That was awful. I don't know what the hell he tried there. But it ain't going to get the job done doing that one. And again, it just baffles me why, when you've got the great opportunity to get length on the safety, neither of the two of them bothered. And then in the end, Larry gave up the ghost and lost the plot as to what he was doing. And that's going to go wrong. Oh dear. Well, he's just going to have to drop this dead weight if he can, so he doesn't disturb too much. And he's disturbed it too much. And again, that is a poor safety, simply because he's got far too much juice into that. He needed to hit that a lot softer just to rest that ball with a spin, and so it wouldn't bounce out beyond the 8-ball. And now Larry's got his chance. And that's not perfect on the 5, but it's a good angle though. He just needs to be careful he doesn't get too much into this cue ball. Just needs to stun across. The angle's there to get on the 6. Well, he's on the rail, but it's not a problem because again the angle's good on the 6 ball. That's perfect. He just doesn't want to overhit it. He just needs to make sure he gets well up past the middle pocket. If he can. Well, he hasn't done. But again, the angle's good again. It's all about angles this game, in case some of you hadn't worked that out. As long as you get the angle, it's of the utmost importance to get to that next ball, and it then prevents you having to do an awful lot with the cue ball. And this is the one that can always go wrong. The 9 ball's up the table, well off any rail, and it's so easy to drop below it if you hit this too juicy. But Larry's played it well. Well, an untidy first rack, a bit sloppy from both players, but Larry has won the rack on his break, so the break goes now to Matt. Again, it looks fairly straight. Well, the 4 ball thought about it and the cue ball decided it was going in first, so it's a scratch and a break for McClarkey, or MC Clarkey. I'm going to keep calling him McClarkey. I've been calling him that for 20 years. I can't get into the habit of calling him MC. Now, can Larry take advantage of it? The problem ball is obviously the 5 ball. However, the 5 ball goes into the middle, so with the 4 ball being up there, the idea is getting this cue ball down here somewhere to be able to play that 5, and if you play it from that angle, you can stun the cue ball for the 6. That would be a plan. If you're going this side for the 5, you've got no chance of potting it. But Larry's a fair bit away from that because the 3 ball doesn't pass the 7 from where he's got himself there. And he looks as if he's lining up the long combo. This 3 ball will go to the top rail if he's playing it at that angle. He's got to make the potting angle in the 7. Yeah, he's tried to stun it in, but the 3 was always going to go safe. And once again, Matt can get this wafer thin and get behind the 7 ball and down the table. He can at least get distance. But he's going the other way, trying to use the 4 ball. That'll work just as well if he's got cover. But he could be in trouble himself here if Larry gets this right. Well, it's an easy hit. It's not a problem to hit the 3 ball. Good evening and welcome to any latecomers. No doubt maybe a few more will join us. The only match that's on tonight, so it should be a good one. So we know the 5 ball goes into the middle between the 9 and the 7. The 8, I should say. Now that's a better one. Is the gap there can he get past the 7? Yeah, he can spin that into the bottom rail and chip that 3 ball, push it towards the 6 maybe if he gets it thin enough. Yeah, it's probably the best he could get there from that one. But we all know that this is going to be the decider. This 5 ball is going to decide the rack. Whoever can get to that point and get good on that 5 ball should run out. But Larry's got to get, well, he's not trying to get up for the 4, he's going to leave it long. And he's going to have to come down to the bottom half of the table. We know where he should be. Where that cue ball is right now would be ideal for him to get there, because you can't pot the 5 from this side. You can't get to it really unless you were really square, and even then it's too tight to get past that 9 ball. And that needs to keep rolling. It's not a great line he's got. It's a tough one. He's just going to have to drop this in dead weight unless he wants to punch it in and come across 2 rails. This is not easy. He can nurse it in. Yeah, it was always going to be a tester, but he's got a second prize. Now again, just to remind people, there are no jump queues in this tournament, but it doesn't say you cannot jump. Very few players interested in attempting to jump with the playing queue. Again, basically because nobody practices jumping with the playing queue. Everybody relies on their jump stick. But that is a passable kick safe there from McClarkey. Well, that might have ruined Larry's chances there because that knuckle has undone him. And now there's a good angle to get right down to the bottom of the table here for this 6 ball. All the room in the world to get there. Shouldn't be any problem. Got to get into this 5 ball though. You can't hit it half measures. Got to get the power in it. And as long as it doesn't scratch, I think he's okay. He's going to have to leave this tough though. He's going to have to just drop through past the 9 so that he can see the 7 to roll it in, because he can't do anything. He's pretty straight and doesn't want to get too ambitious here. Well, that's gone all wrong. Again, why didn't he just take his medicine and roll through to here? He's gone and snookered himself. Cue ball. Well, it was doomed to failure, wasn't it? And Matt's had his chance to square the match there and he blew it big time. That was why he jacked up. He jacked up but didn't get into the cue ball to come back past the 9. And he's gifted Larry a 2-0 lead here. And the break will stay with Larry for rack number 3. Again, another straight rack. And a couple of balls in the break. Cue ball stays up. 1 ball is dead in the bottom rail. Now that again, Larry should be going for distance nice and thin on the right hand side of this 1 ball as we look at it. And head up the table. Try and get up by that 8 ball, because there's that 1 ball will push towards the 5, 3 and 9. He's going to have to get the distance. I like the pace in this. I like the pace. Oh, that is very nice. That's what I'm talking about. You've got to get distance. If you don't end up getting the cover, it is difficult for the incoming player to find that edge in the object ball at distance. Now Matt needs a bit of luck, and he's not got it. And once again, Larry's in with a great opportunity to run out here for a 3-0 lead. And that's why getting a good safety gets you the reward. Now he's off the rail, so you can just see this 3 ball. Nice little stun. Just jack it up slightly. And the problem is the 7 ball. Now that 9 ball is also a problem, because if he just runs to the rail, he's going to come out with the wrong line. If he ideally he wants to stun the 5 in and stun up a line through the 9 ball to get to the 7. And the 9 ball's caused an issue here. This is now requiring a wee bit of thought. And he's stunning up and avoiding the 9. That was well played. Normally you would want to maybe just run up a line that would have taken into the top right, so he's decided to take it in the middle. As long as it gets the end result, that's all that matters. And plenty of room to go on the 9 ball. Just don't scratch in the right middle pocket, that's the golden rule here. Well away from that. So it's a 3-0 lead for Larry, and immediately we have a mini crisis at hand for Matt. Not only that, he's going to have to start dealing with it on his own break. He's breaking from the far right, which I never like. So you see you've got 3 balls just hanging in a line there. At least one has gone in though. And the other issue is, with the 1 ball not moving anywhere, he's got no shot. Well, he's played the push out up the table, but he'll be in trouble here, because if Larry can just skim the 1 so that it doesn't brush out past that 5 and 9, he can hide on the left hand side of the table. He just needs to be careful he doesn't scratch himself though. But that'll do. And again, it's all about making the right choice in the push out. And that push out there was asking for that sort of trouble. It was an open invitation for Larry to put Matt in trouble. Mind you, the kick has ended up not bad. Larry may well have a go at this, but it's not easy. But he can certainly punch the cue ball into the side rail and come across. He might be in danger of getting hooked behind the 9 here though, but he can bring this across here. And the line he's taken, well, he's managed to get well away from it, left a high cut. Now what does he do? Up and down the table to leave himself a go at this 3-7 combo. He's got to go up and down, I think, with the pace that he'll need. And if he gets a little bit of spin on it, he can bring the cue ball over the left hand side of the table. Well, he's straightened up. So that gets me wondering whether he's decided to leave the bank. Now the cue ball might hit the 7, but that shouldn't do him any harm. He should have at least a sight on the 4, but he's decided he's not interested, and again, not a great safety. The line that Matt's got here will always have him on the 4 ball, and this is a must rack here for Matt. He has to get it. Good evening to Mark. He's got to get this done. And a poor safety from Larry, and it has to be punished. Well, he's looking around just to make sure he's not missed anything, because you can do daft things like forget a ball's on the table. If you're just looking in one direction at the 5 ball, you have to just take stock of things, have a quick look around, make sure you know where all the balls are and how many's left, so you don't do something daft, as I've done plenty of times, and no doubt some of you guys have done the same. Well, this is the one that's going to be a problem. Now, he can go forward with lots of action, he can spin back the way, he needs to get the pace right. It needs to slow up, and that's not bad. He's got a shot, but you have a quick look at this and you play it. You've played the game long enough. You don't need to overstudy a cut and a 9 ball. You look at the angle, your eyes tell you what the line is, and you play it. When you start doubting yourself, then you're going to make a mess of it. But that was an important rescue there for Matt. But this time Larry's got the scratch disease, and look at these balls. Well, apart from that 6 ball that has just rolled into the path of the 2, and that has ruined what could well be a good chance for Matt to run out this rack here, but he's going to cut to the chase. We've got a 1-9 on, and that is a bonus. And now the break in rack number 6, trailing by just a 1. Again, persistently going to this right side, too close to the rail in my opinion. We saw what happened the last time. A couple of balls didn't move, but this time they've opened, and that certainly worked. And he's on the 1, but once again there's a problem, and it's the 4-8, which is lined up as a perfectly good combo. I mean, this is where you immediately make that decision. You make the decision right now that you're going to pot the 1 and get the 3, and if you can just roll this 3 down this rail, down to this bottom right hand corner and follow through, then you're getting a good line as close as you can to leaving that straight 4-8 combo. That's the immediate decision you have to make. And now you've just got to be confident with the pace. He's going to run towards this 7 ball here with this line. He might just go past it into the gap. Even if he hits it, as long as he hits it firm enough and skims past it like that, well, that's absolutely perfect. Can't miss it. Now he has to watch the 4 ball, because the 4 ball is going to go that way. And he doesn't want to end up leaving it safe. Well, now it's anybody's guess as to what's going to happen here. This is a blind pocket cut. It's a nasty one. A nasty line trying to find it. But he's going up the table. He's got to be 100% committed if he's going to try and get on the 5 ball. And look what's happened. He should have gone forward. He should have went forward. You're getting into the open space. And he would have been looking to get a shot in that 5 into the middle. And now, well, I don't think he can see any of this. Can you get enough of that to thin it into the middle? That 9 ball might be a good guide. Is he going to give it a blast? Yeah, he just couldn't get into it enough. Oh. Well, the chance has come and gone. Well, that's another thing, Betty. That's what I was saying earlier there. When you've got enough room, you can obviously jump a ball, but I think players just lack the... And I'm one of them. I've never practiced jumping with my playing cue. But you know, these players never do that either, so they don't want to look silly having a go at the jump and making an arse of it. Sometimes desperate situations come for, you know, you have to just go for it, take that chance. And from a chance that could have been 3 racks all, Larry preserves his lead and opens it to 2 racks again. Well, Larry's dry again. And now another pressure visit for Matt. All the balls are on. Little drawback. I think the angle's a bit more than he would like on this 1 ball though. And that will do. Nice little kiss off the 7. And I would be inclined to just stun this 2 in and just stun to the side rail. He's just playing it gentle. That looks also a good line in the 3 to play the 4 into the same pocket. That's a fairly simple stun. Is he going to roll through for the middle? Yeah, see, I would have stunned that into the same pocket. The reason being the 5 balls on the side rail there, and that makes it a lot easier to get nice on the 5. Well, he messed about with the 9 ball there, but I think if he'd played the shot I was talking about, he'd have done a lot better on this 5 ball than he is now. He should have taken the 3 and 4 into the same pocket. That needs to slow up. Good evening to Semi-Pro. This is crucial that Matt stays in touch here. Went 3-0 down at the beginning. Got it back to 3-2. Larry got the last one. And we are where we are at the moment. Unless, I don't know whether the line's good enough for him just to kill the cue ball. He looks as if that's what he's doing. No, he's running through. Got me fooled. He doesn't want to run too far. And this is another, even that angle there is just dicey. Because you've got to remember what you're doing with the cue ball and you don't want to go near a middle pocket. But in it goes comfortably. But the break will also stay with Matt. And again, vital if he can get a ball in a shot. Well, these are broke nice that time, even though he's still playing it from the side rail. But again, might have broke nice, nothing doing. And it's the same old story. There's a problem for Larry when he's come to the table. The 2 ball is very tight. And Larry's thinking so much about getting that line in the 2 ball, he's missed the 1. It was so difficult to get. I mean, he could have probably played it any better than that to give him the shot in the 2 in the middle, but he's taking his eye off the ball, thinking about that, forgot the 1. But the 2 ball, I'm willing to bet, is going to decide the rack because it's the only issue to be dealt with. Now, Matt might be trying to end up in the same place here. And that is not bad. And it's also an issue now, though, that he's dead straight here. And all he can do is roll forward, and the 8 ball's in the way. Oh, he's played it well. And he's done very well there. And now it's all about following through and getting the job done to square the match. Anything but straight, and that is not ideal. That is too straight, and the 9 ball's in the way again as well. So he's just brushed it and he's got away with it. He'll take it. Again, stun it in with enough pace to come off that bottom rail and back up into the table high enough. That's what I'd be doing. All the room in the world to get there. No, it shouldn't be any problem. Well, he's trying to stay the other side of it. And that's now a tester. He could have been right up into the middle of the table. And that will go. Wiped his feet, but we're now back all square. So Matt's got the main objective done straight away in this early part of the match. From 3-0 down, he's got it back all square. And now it starts all over again. And same old, dry break. But Matt has a shot in the 1, and he can come right across with the 2 into the same pocket here with the angle and the line that he's got. It needs to get there though. The pace is perfect. That's where you'd put it with ball in hand. Probably right there. Maybe it's just slightly the wrong side, but it will do. And now, of course, the inevitable problem lies ahead. Can he in some way get good on that 6 whereby he can nudge the 9? Now, if you were playing that 6 ball from sort of that line, or maybe let me see, sort of that line, you could maybe nudge the 9. But it's a bit of a tight line. But that's the problem that lies ahead here, especially with the 5 ball being up table. Well, the immediate problem's the 5 ball, not the 6, because he's not got on it. And that's a poor one. Should never have had that line. Should have a good chance of getting this in though. Well, the angle he has a chance if he could get here, or here, sorry. He could go for a push in the 7 and run through to hit that 9. He's finished the short side of it, or the wider side of it. But is he going to try and nudge something, or is he try and drop onto the bottom rail and play the 8 up the table? That's anybody's guess. He's just again overcooked it. Just a wee bit too much spin. But he can push this up the table comfortably and leave Larry nailed. He's looking at the pot though, but he could bury Larry here. It's an easy push through. And that's what you do. I mean, it's not as tight as I would have liked it, but it still left Larry in trouble. And it gives Matt control of the table. Easy to get the spin into it though. Well, that's a cracking shot by Larry. I don't think he played it, he just played to actually get there, but it's gone in. What a bonus that is. And all of a sudden, if this 9 goes in, the tables have turned in one rack. One that looked as if it was odds on. Oh, Larry diced with death there, but he's got away with it. But, well, I think Larry was just, hoping to get a touch in the 8. The fact that it's gone in was a big, big bonus. And it's amazing how a rack just changes hands with one shot or one bit of luck. It was odds on that Matt was going to get out there, and then of course he left himself awkward in the 8 and had to try and lock it up. But I'll tell you something, if he'd played it right, Larry would never have had that shot, and that's where it went wrong if you're going to be really critical. And now Larry's causing Matt more pain. Now, of course, the 8 and 9 are locked up, so you don't start banging balls around the table to nudge them. Oh, what a hit that is. That is unlucky that he didn't get right into the corner. But he'll take it. Let's have a look and see what he's got. Well, he's got nothing. Well, Larry's line was always going to take him towards that cluster of balls. But as I say, there's a couple of safety nets here for him. He doesn't need to get worried. Not immediately. But Matt can certainly run into the 7 and the 2 here. But no joy. He moves the 7. 2 stays where it is. He's got a bank on the 2. It could be a double bank and he'll have a shot in the 3. And then his problems start. he's running for cover, but he's going to scratch. So now Larry with ball in hand. Well, the 4 ball's not exactly perfect where it's sitting to try and pot the 4 and get into the 5 and 9. So Larry's having a quick study of the table, but unless Larry can finish here and bang that 4 in and come off the rail and across, well, he's trying to take a liberty and hope he stays in the 4, and he's got the job done. That's a risk you take, and he's got the reward. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons here. And he's still got another problem, because that 9 has no sooner has he done the hard work, but the 9 has opened and pushed towards the rail and blocked the 8. So this rack ain't over yet. And Larry's spinning the cue ball to get around for the 5. He sent the 4 into the jaws, and we know what happens. They don't go in. Now, trailing by 1, Matt's got a chance. Now, he must have had a look to see that there's a problem here. The problem's to have a shot in the 6. But does he take a risk and try and pinch an angle to nudge that 8? Well, I don't think that's improved anything. It's done nothing. The double kiss is the thing that ruined it, because the 9 just stayed more or less where it is. So now, well, that is no way it's going to be anywhere near a decent combo, that 8 and 9, the line that they're set at. The 8's too close to the rail. But it's all he's got. Now, with this shot, if he simply pushes the 8 to the 9, it's not going in. He has to push the 8 to the rail and try and just kick it in that way. This will be a good shot. And that was excellent. And it's all square again. Seven ball, no, nothing's gone for Larry, and again it's perfectly safe, and all the balls are on once again. This time there is no problem balls, so this is a crucial ball straight away, this 1 ball. Now Matt can kick the 1, or he can push. And he's called the push out. Now again, he's got to get wise with the push out, because that 3 is very adjacent to the 1. And if Larry can see the 1 full ball, he can end up putting Matt in trouble. And he can still do that, because Larry can bank the 1 up the table and keep that cue ball behind the 3. And again, Matt's choice of push out, he has to study that more and see what he's going to leave himself, because the 1 ball is the ball to decide the rack, and Matt now has got a big hit here, and he's not hit anything. He would much rather have hit something there and lock something up, but now Larry has all the room in the world to take the lead. But going back to what I said there, Matt's played a couple of push-outs tonight already, and both of them were asking for trouble. And you know, Larry's old enough and wise enough to make the most of those situations. And with the 3 ball, whenever you get a ball next to the ball that's on that you're playing the push-out from, You can't believe in a shot for Larry just to simply bank the one up the table and leave the cue ball behind a 3. You're just putting yourself in trouble. And Matt fell for it hook, line and sinker, and he should be getting a full punishment here. The best thing to do is probably to leave half a ball for your opponent to be able to see on a push out, and that's why you have to be a bit wiser when you're playing the push out. You can't leave him a full ball. When you leave somebody like Larry a full ball to hit from the push out, then he's going to be able to stun the cue ball and do things, especially with the adjacent ball. In this case it was a 3 ball, and Matt got buried, and this is going to be the end result as long as Larry doesn't do anything daft. A lesson to be learned there for everybody. When you're playing a push out, it needs a bit more thought than you first think. It's not just about rolling the cue ball away to a corner somewhere. You've got to be wise and think about it. Now this needs to miss the 7, and it has done, because had it hit the 7, Larry could have been in bother. That's the thing I was moaning about Virtual Pool Mobile. Virtual Pool Mobile doesn't have the push out in the rules of 9-ball. And I just find that a bit daft. But then again, Virtual Pool Mobile is not aimed at people that play pool. It's just aimed at folk that want to bash balls. But it's probably the most obvious rule option that you should have in the game is the push out, and they've simply not bothered to put it in it. So I'm still waiting on my update for Virtual Pool Mobile, because I've got no audio in it. Not since they updated Android. The most recent update, I've got absolutely no sound coming out of Virtual Pool Mobile. But Steve knows about it. He said thanks. He never said thanks, I'll go and fix it. He just said thanks for telling us. But if you go to the Google Store and you look at Virtual Pool Mobile and see when the last time the game was updated, it was updated in 2014. So I think we've got a long wait for the next update. We've gone 8 years without an update for it. It'll probably be another 8 years before he looks at it. Oh well. Larry's regained the lead. Now Matt has got, well, a shot in the 1. It's certainly not a 1-9 combo by any means, but he can... what's he looking at? I mean, he could play the 1 onto the 9. He's gone all out for it. Well, it did everything but go in. Now, can Larry see enough of the 1? Oh, he might be able to just get there. Maybe not. Well, he can certainly pot the 1. No doubt about that. Now, well, this is awkward. Larry's got himself nailed to the rail. He would want to be able to stun the 2 in and find the gap between the 4 and the 3, the 4 and the 8 for that 3 ball. Well, he's left himself the combo. It's lined up pretty well. Shouldn't be a problem. But that's the problem, where the 3 ball was going to end up. I'm getting mixed up. I'm falling asleep. How many times do I do that in a match where it's the other player that's at the table? Don't forget, it's 10 to 8 at night and my brain shuts down at this time. Well, Larry could be opening up the gap again. That was a tough 5 ball to be taken on. Sorry, 3 ball. I've even got the colour of the balls wrong as well. So it's race to 15. And it's anybody's guess as to how this match is going to go, because it's chopped and changed. Larry with a 3-0 lead. Matt getting back to 4 racks all, but Larry looking to just create the daylight again. Well, a lot of these racks have looked very straight to me tonight. That might be a tad shifted to the left, that rack. Couple of balls this time. Oh, that 8 balls just nudged the one. It's still on for the pot. Three ball into the right middle. As long as the angle's there, he should be down maybe for the 4 in the same pocket if he can get a good line in the 3. So there isn't any problems here. And it should be a 3-rack lead. And you see Larry's not gone far enough. Had he got that line, he could have just stunned that in and drawn back for the 4, or just gone through for the 4 into that pocket. He's now got too much of an angle, and it just sets him thinking a bit more. Looks as if he's spinning to the top rail and coming in behind the 8. Well, he's come across the 8, but that will do. And now that'll be nice and simple. Just a drop in, dead weight, drop it into the hole. All nice and simple. Well, he's going down in beside it. Now he's neither here nor there. I don't know whether he thought he couldn't just drop that in and still be on the 6 into that corner. He's now left himself a big test. But I could hark on about the mouse. If you were confident enough just to play the dead weight shot, you would have played it. Maybe not with a trackball mouse though. That's the thing. But a good recovery shot. And so Matt's going to have to do it all again. It's part 2 of this match for McClarkey. Trailing 3-0 at the beginning, and he's now going to be trailing by 3 again. It's going to be 8 racks to 5 in the favour of Larry. And that's, again, I mean, it's multitude of them tonight. That one's straight, but look at that break. I mean, that's a foul break, because I don't think 4 balls have hit a rail. And that's what you get for breaking from the side rail. You'll get a dud break like that, and it's given Larry ball in hand. That's what happens on a lot of occasions when the closer you break to those side rails, the more likely you're going to get one of those dead breaks where the balls don't move and only 2 hit a rail. But of course the 6 ball and 9 ball are the saviour at the moment in this rack. And Matt's going to have to rely on that. Now that 6 ball does not go anywhere, so I will just check to see if it went past the 9. And it doesn't go past the 9, so that's the problem. Well, it seems the only option Larry's got now is to get right up the table. In fact, the closer he can get to that top rail, the better the angle he'll have to work with to run that 5 ball into the top right hand corner pocket, come to the long rail on the side by the middle pocket, and try and run into the 6 and 9. That's the only option I can see. Well, he's finished square across the table, so he may be going a couple of rails here, depending on what spin he's putting on. He might have enough angle to run down the right hand side, come off the side rail, the bottom rail, and try and chip the 9. He's trying to go direct, but it's straightened up. I thought it would have been better to try and get right up onto the top rail, because it gives you a better line to use the side rail to get to the 9 and 6. So now Larry's got a problem to deal with. You can see the 6, but he's got to make sure. He might try and billiard the 7 in here. That line might be good for the billiard. He might be lining that up. Nope. But that will do. Job done. He's got the cover. And once again, he's got control and got Matt in trouble. That needs to go just past the middle pocket, because that now makes it really awkward for Larry. He can't pot that long into the corner because he'll scratch. He's got to hit this wafer thin. Well, he's looking as if he's played the pot, but he's going to have to try and draw off this and catch the point. And he has done. He's managed to play it. That was well done. Not an awful lot of room for manoeuvre there. And the only thing that can go wrong with this is if he hits it too hard, but he's played it perfect. So now there is a crisis at hand here. Good evening to Tommy. Good evening to Sid. We've got all the latecomers arriving. But just a quick recap for you guys. 3-0 it was to Larry at the beginning. Matt got back to 4-all, and now he's fallen out the game. And it's now a 4-rack gap. And good evening to Mal as well. 7 ball. Is it going to nudge the 6 in? Yes, it is. And a shot in the 1. And this might be bad news for Matt, because well, there's not an issue. Larry would do this 99 times out of 100. The way these balls are set, he's just got to get the top side of the 4. He's just double checking the 4 goes past the 8 comfortably. So he's just got to get, he doesn't want to get into it too much, go near the 5. But he wants to get as straight as he can on this 4. This is the only match tonight. There's nothing else scheduled, or at least there wasn't the last time I checked. Well, that 7 ball's in such a position that he can use a bit of the rail if he needs to get the cue ball out. Let's have a look. Well, that's what he's going to be doing, I think. He's just going to jab it in and punch the rail. Needs to keep going. Well, it's already tough when you're trailing by 4. But it gets an awful lot tougher now that you're trailing by 5. And it's a big ask in a race to 15 to get yourself back into this. So that run out from Larry takes him to double figures. And Matt sticking with the break. And they've opened. Ball's gone in. He's going to have a shot in the 1. And, well, we know what it is. It's no miss now for Matt. Cannot cause any self-inflicted damage. Got to get it clean. But it's like a broken record. This format is so difficult when you're trailing. You can't do it without the aid and assistance of your opponent. Larry's going to have to foul up far too many times in the not too distant future in order for Matt to get into this match again. And the chances of that are fairly slim, I would suggest. Well, job done in that rack for Matt, but the rhythm goes as Larry gets the break in the next one. Oh, that 6 ball has just ruined what could have been a chance there for Matt. Now you can only see the edge of the one, so just pushing it to the rail and trying to use the 6 ball. He's overhit that slightly. And Matt can have another go at the same shot, try and maybe go over behind the 2 this time. He's got the line of the 2 and the 6 to aid him here to get there. You've got to hit it though. Oh, that looks nasty. Well, Larry's getting very nasty with that shot. That's got Matt in a pile of trouble here. And just trying to make things awkward. And that's all he really could do, is try and just push that 2 ball to an awkward position. Albeit the fact that it's not covered. I mean, you can get on it, but where the 1 ball is, Larry's just got to find a gap without hooking himself behind the 3. And he's just got there. Now, what did you say, Bedhead, earlier on? What was your call? Was it 13-9? 15-9 or something? You said. If you're still awake. You didn't say 15-13. You said, I don't think you said that, did you? Somebody typed 15-9. Who said that? At least I thought I read 15-9. Anyway, the way the score's building up here for Larry, it's not going to be far off 15-9. Oh, well, Larry's made a bit of a mistake there, but this is a bonus opportunity here. Was it Sergeresh that said 15-11? Somebody said something. It was a bit of a wider gap. But this bonus chance here for Matt, has to be taken again. Everything has to be taken. Simple as that. He just cannot afford to waste opportunities. It is vital to try and claw anything back, to just stay in touch. Well, I wouldn't have want to be there on this 8 ball. He's got to overhit this. If he's going to play it, he's got to draw it straight back, overhit it so that he comes off the bottom rail and then goes up to the middle pocket. That's the safest route. Just overhit it and then you'll bounce off the rail and up into the open space. It's crucial that he takes this out. And whose break is it next? That's an even more important question, because I've totally lost track of who's who here. And it stays with Matt. Well, this is where if ever you want a ball and a shot, it's right now. And also the opportunity to run out, and he ain't getting that because the 1 ball's dead. And again, with that side break, couple of balls haven't really moved. The 9 and the 6 are stuck there. 5's there as well. And Matt could be in trouble here if Larry plays this right. Well, he's gone all out for the bank. And he might take a risk here. He can pot the 3 and run into the 9 and 6. But is that 9 and 6 a combo? Let's have a quick look at that. And Larry has overdone it. The 9 and 6. Well, they're not a combo now. And Larry ended up hooking himself. I thought he would have been trying to run that cue ball into the 9 and 6 and hold for the 3. It might have been better trying to do that. And use them and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. As it is, the 5 ball is still in an awkward place. I mean, that 5 ball goes past the 9. Now, the angle he's got in the 4, if he's to try and do anything to come around the corner between the 6 and 8, he would have to run it. It's very narrow, and he's got a line just to run through for the 6. Well, he needs to run further than that, though. He's bottled out on it. He's bottled out in it because he had to run through another 2 or 3 inches. And in doing that, I think he was erring on safety, that he wasn't wanting to foul the 9. And he's failed in both counts. Failed to get there in the 6, really. And he's rattled the 9 off the knuckle. And that is a golden opportunity. Has gone there for Matt. Tough one though for Larry. These are not easy. Well, this is the one to decide it. Cue ball's going in the right direction across the table for the 8. And if he can get dead straight in the 8, that'd be a bigger bonus, because it's just a case of dropping the 8 in, killing the cue ball, and you're on the 9. Everything's easy after this 7 ball. And if it bounces, he'll have the ideal opportunity. He can just drag into the cue ball, stun it in, and more or less stop the cue ball. Again, Larry's again, I'm going to say it. The trackball mouse has failed him again, because that was an easy shot to stun that and hold it. He didn't get into it. And he's left himself a toughie. When's Larry going to listen to me and get himself a mouse that he can play those shots with confidence? He's played it well, but you don't want to having to be playing recovery shots like that when you can make your life a lot easier. But the gap goes back to 4. and Larry's only 4 away. Remember what I keep saying, folks, about trackball mice and certain shots that you want to execute. There was a prime example, and I rest my case. That was a dry break from Larry, wasn't it? Open table for Matt, and once again, they're all there. Oh, he doesn't want to be nailed to the rail. And now, well, he's got to go forward, obviously. And he has to make sure that he has enough pace that he's not going to finish behind the 8 or anywhere near it if he can help it. But he's got to get forward and around and out. He's avoiding the 8. And he's nicely on the 5. Now this angle he's got is a bit in between in terms of being comfortable to hold for the 6. He's digging in. He's avoided the 7. And this is a crucial one, because it's another blind pocket shot. And he can just run through, or he can stun it in. He has a choice. Well, you see, he's run it through, but he's not run it through as much as he should have. He's now left a straight 7. Got to get the line right. And he's got to go through with this as well. And that's why you miss them. But the problem was from the previous shot there. He could have got in better shape. Well, the fact that Larry does so well with the mouse is what surprises me. But I do insist that there are certain little delicate shots that are very, very difficult to execute with a trackball mouse. I know, because I've tried it. And the little delicate shots, that shot that Larry played needed full faith and just going through with the shot to stun it and get the hold on the cue ball. And Larry didn't, because he didn't roll the ball enough and sharp enough to get that. Well, it was, but you see, the thing is Larry never got the stop on it. He let it run, and you'd never do that with an ordinary mouse. Not for somebody of Larry's experience and the amount of years he's played the game. With a normal mouse, you can play that shot every time, because you have every faith on the pace that you can inflict in the cue ball. You can't do that as reliable with a trackball mouse. I'll tell you that till I'm blue in the face, and nobody will convince me otherwise. You get a trackball mouse and you try it, and I swear to God, you will never get near one again. Stick with it for however long you want. You'll never have that assurance that you can deliver those little touch shots when you need them, or little control shots. Oh, they are, believe me, they're a hell of a lot harder to play with. Well, you know what Bob Ross says? We don't make mistakes, we have happy accidents. I miss Bob Ross. They're still, I mean, they're showing the joy of painting over here again. Well, Matt, is at the point of no return, basically, and no sooner have I done that than I've jinxed him on a 5-ball. The curse of the commentator rises again. No, but he never made mistakes. Bob Ross used a trackball pallet knife. Do you not know that? And he never made mistakes. He only had happy accidents with it. You know something? It was last year or something like that. I was watching The Joy of Painting. I was watching an episode online on YouTube, and I think it was last year. And I thought, because I was totally oblivious, I thought I'm going to Google Bob to find his website and all of that, and this and that. And then I don't know what it was, but then I found a post or something, and he had died in 1995, I think it was. And I never even knew the poor guy had passed away. As I said a few weeks ago, he's the only white man I've ever seen with an well, he's the second white man I've seen with an afro, and the only other one I saw was Benny Hill in one of his sketches. Well, Larry's moved to within 2. He's got a big, comfortable lead. And he's also got a ball in the break. And he also has the enticement of tucking this one ball right down the rail past the 3. And he should be across for the 2 ball into the left middle. Oh, lots of pace on it. He's gone across 2 rails, but that'll still do. And everything on. And he should be 1 away after this visit. Well, the match has been on for an hour and, 14 minutes. Well, once again, anything but dead straight on this 5-ball. Doesn't matter, but you certainly want to be the other side of the 5. You don't want to be the side that runs you into the 8. You see, that's the one thing he's made sure of there. I mean, even that shot needs a bit of thinking, because if you do something daft and finish here, and you start running into an 8-ball, then you don't know where the cue ball's going. You have to be the side that avoids the 8. And that was well played. And Larry, comfortable now. He can relax. Match chances have come and gone. Eight ball in the break, 9 ball very adjacent to the pocket. No shot in the 1. Now what does he do here? Does he go all out for the cut down the rail? The big bang down the rail. Well, he's trying to reverse bank it. If the worst came to the worst, he would have at least moved the 9 ball. He could have had a chance of cutting that hard down the rail to try and combo the 9. But Larry, if he gets in the middle of this, if Larry can get in the side rail, left side rail, or if he can somehow get down and find a gap. Well, I thought he was going for the bank there. He hasn't done. Well, Matt's certainly got the opportunity. He can play the billiard from the 2 on to the 9. That's his only shot. If he wants to get this rack done and dusted quickly, let's have a look. Yep, if you can get the cue ball or have a shot from that line there, or that line there, you can still chip the 9. I don't know whether he can do it from that line. We'll soon see. He might be able to do it. I presume he's playing the billiard. No, he's gone all out for the cut. Well, I would have went for the billiard, and so would he if he had the second chance at it, because he's now back against the wall. No shot in the 3. And just hitting and hoping he gets a bit of luck. And that might not be enough though. And Larry might end up having to play the 4-9 combo. If he cuts the 3 in, he can come around behind the 5. And just get up into the table and try and find that line to play the 4-9. I think Snake Eyes beat Larry, was that not right? Oh, that looks a good shot. Right, so this is where you just totally focus on that line there, right through the 4 to get to the edge of the 9, and the 9 goes in every day of the week. So this for the match. And in it goes. We'll quick look at the bracket, folks. So Larry wins by 15 racks to 7. And we will have a look and see how that shapes up as far as Larry's progress goes. Did Bankster say that Larry plays him next if he was the winner? How can that be? Larry's not got an opponent next as far as I can see. Or did I read that wrong? Anyway, that's going to update in a second. Larry's through. And oh, you're playing Cobra on Sunday. Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it in the bracket. Yeah, I'll be there for that one. This is taking a bloody age to update, is it not? Yeah, there's Larry through now. So on the bracket, as I mentioned earlier, there's just a couple of matches have been set. We've got a 1-loss side match between Squirter and Mr. Strocum. That's in a few days' time at 2 AM in the morning, my time, so I won't be there for that. And the other one was the one that Cheeky Chico mentioned, which is, where the hell is it? Further up. Yeah, that one there between Cobra and Cheeky Chico. And that is at 7 PM on, what was that? Did you say Sunday? Aye. Oh, Hazard's going to forfeit. Is he still in Spain? And they still can't let him out. Oh, there's Potman there. Good evening and good night. Right. Unlucky, Matt. Well, that's it up to date as far as matches go. I'll be back for that next one in a few days' time, unless something else pops up in the bracket, folks. So, with that, thank you for your company again, guys. Do take care. Stay safe. And I'll see you again soon. And I'll bid you good night.